with. We're so glad you're here as part of our winter webinar series. This is our second of a few webinars you will see up on the screen. And this is just a reminder that all these webinars are going to be available online. So on demand, you can watch them anytime. Thanks to Uptown Studios for helping us out with that. And we hope you can join us for a few more. So I'm going to pass it over to Mia right now, and she's going to take the reins for the next hour. Sit tight and get cozy because you're going to learn a lot.
Hi, everyone. This is Tina Reynolds. I'm also here. I'm the president of Uptown Studios. We find that we are much more enjoyable when there's two of us doing these presentations. So I'm kind of the fluffer, and Mia has the nuts and bolts, and we'll get you through this and figure out how you can be more politically active through social media. I started Uptown Studios in 1992 when we were only a design firm. In 2000, we started website design. In 2007, we jumped into social media and embraced it. I knew that it was going to be a marketing tool that everybody needed. Now what we do is we're really pushing to raise nonprofits to embrace social media because it is one of the most affordable ways that you can accomplish a lot of your marketing needs. Mia, I'll let you introduce yourself.
I am Mia Lopez. I am our digital communications manager, and so I work very closely with our social media clients. We work with a lot of nonprofits and various advocacy groups who are using these tools today to in order to contact legislators, get groups and communities together to create action on social media. And it's a great tool. And so I'm really excited to be here today.
Yeah, the thing that's really great about this advocacy and social media is that it's really transparent. It is like you're standing out on a corner holding a sign, except you don't have to go out in the cold and rain. And people are going to see your posts, and the legislators are going to see what you're asking them, and everybody's going to see whether they respond or not. So it's pretty cool. We'll get into it. All right, let's go.
So a few things that we're going to cover today in today's webinar is why social media. Social media is a great tool, and we'll go through the specific points of exactly why you should be using social media for advocacy and a campaign social media strategy. You'll have your overall social media strategy, but anytime you are working to get community members to take a particular action, it's so important to have a whole campaign strategy around important dates and messaging and scheduling updates. So we'll go into the strategy, ways to influence and engage. We're going to show you a few tips and tools and how you can better reach the legislators or groups that you are trying to influence to take action. And then also real-time conversations. How are these real-time conversations affecting the way that we make decisions in the long term, and especially around campaign season and working to get bills passed and stuff like that.
Yeah, I want you also to notice down in the lower right, there's a hashtag Uptown Tips. As we go, if you watch this after the live webinar, anytime you have questions, you can just use hashtag Uptown Tips. It comes right to Mia and I, and we'll jump in and answer any questions that you have. We're happy to help.
Super happy. We love helping.
We love helping.
So why social media? Why should you be using social media to sway action and to get people to take action? Social media is a great tool. It has access to legislators, key players, and advocates. The majority of social media users are actually well educated, and they are the ones making decisions, and they are the leaders that you need to connect with who have a following of people that trust them and would take the actions that they propose.
We're going to show you how to access the legislators so that no matter what county that you're in, you'll be able to log in and find out how to contact them and get their handles and figure out how to contact them directly.
Also, transparency. It doesn't look good when you are tweeting at a legislator and they aren't responding. So this is a great way to have clear conversations that everyone can see, and it makes it so that you are reaching the legislator directly. You've never been closer to
Mhm.
legislators as you were before.
Right. This gives you direct access, and they all have staff members that are monitoring their social media channels. So if I type to my legislator, how do you feel about this issue? I want to know where you're standing. The person that's monitoring their social media channel knows that that has to be answered. So they're going to get the answer and post it. And if they don't, if you get three other people that ask the same question and say, hey, yeah, they asked that question. We really want to know where you stand on this. And then you get 25 people that ask the same question. Pretty soon there's this, their office is going to feel this constituency pressure that they are pushed to answer. And if they answer the way that you don't agree with, then you get 100 people to start pushing them and saying, we think that you should move this way. And then you start moving the legislators towards your opinion because they are all constituency based. And the more people that contact them, the more effective this campaign will be.
This is the new grassroots marketing. You know, you used to call your legislator and send them letters in the mail. And while those still might be points that might be in a campaign, this is the most effective way to get people to take action because they are already on social media. They may not stop at their post office every
Right.
day to send letters, but they are tweeting and they are posting on Facebook and sharing updates.
Right.
So this is a huge way and an easy way
Yeah.
to get
A
people.
letter goes to the legislator, and none of your friends see that you've sent a letter. With social media, if I post a question to my legislator and there's an answer that I don't agree with, I can get my friends to start putting pressure. Everybody's going to see that there was either no response or the wrong response, and people start jumping in and they respond. They really, it's like real time. They're going to respond to you really quickly, and it's amazing that you have such close access to your legislators.
It's amazing. I love it.
We've done a couple of campaigns where we were at a convention for nurse practitioners, and they were pushing for a particular bill. And what we did is we had a class and taught them all how to be legislative advocates. And in the class, we showed them how to find their legislator. They tweeted to their legislator and got responses while we were still in the class because they're on it. They're watching it and they're responding because they need to be transparent and they need to be relatively quick on social media. All right.
Of the 7,383 state legislators in the U.S., 35% have a Twitter account at the start of 2014.
And that's, we don't have 2015 numbers, but I know it's probably doubled.
Yes. And so I love this quote. This is just shows the importance of being on social media to sway legislative actions. So diving into it, your campaign social media strategy. You have to have a strategy to start because it will really help lay out the steps that you're going to take throughout your strategy process.
But it's like having a plan. So at Uptown Studios, we have a marketing strategy that is think a think, plan a plan, do a do. And if you have an idea of how you're going to attack a particular issue, you write it down and you get a group of people into the room and agree on what the strategy is going to be. Then you plan how you're going to attack this issue. So you've thought about what you need to do, you make a plan and write it down, and then you just are checking it off your list. Do a do. You're just doing it. And it is so much more effective when you have it written down. And in addition to those three things, it's setting some goals. Like you want to have 150 members of green alliances throughout California that join this movement, that are involved with this particular issue, that are going to join you in this strategy. Then you have some numbers that they're not going to ignore. Even it's only 150, but on social media, the power is boom. It's a big power with 150 people sending messages.
right? Because think of those 150 people. If they have 300 to 1,000 followers, you've
it gets out
increased
quick. It goes
so
quick.
much,
Yeah.
right? And you know, those kind of partnerships on social media are very, very effective for legislative advocacy. Finding other groups that either you have already done previous advocacy together, or maybe events that would align with your mission and who would also support the legislative action. You know, these are the ones that should be the first step of your strategy. Set goals and find partners.
Find partners. So if you have, if it's through California Relief and you team up with the Sierra Club on a particular issue, well, they have numbers. And if you develop a little mini plan and you share it with them and you get everybody to agree, your numbers are going to just grow. And what it means is that then you're really applying pressure on the people that are the decision makers.
And this finding your partners goes along with finding your target audience as well.
So you have two different target audiences in an advocacy campaign. The first target audience is aligning yourself with partners, which is another project that you have to set some goals, because you have to say, okay, here's a list of people that could be potential partners, and then you have to actually do something, which is reach out to them and say, we're going to do a social media strategy on this. Would you like to join us? And then the second target audience is the legislator or policy decision makers, the stakeholders, and the key decision makers. So it's not just your legislators, but maybe it's finding the lobbyists that are on your side, and the heads of different state departments that align with this mission and getting them in. So it's a greater target audience.
Mm-hmm. And then planning your messaging. How are you going to sway people to share and take action? And the messaging, I like to, at the beginning of any campaign strategy, write everything out. Mm-hmm. We write all of our messages. Mm-hmm. We write our messages for Facebook. We write our messages for Twitter. Mm-hmm. And then right at the beginning, we start scheduling out these messages. Right. And then on top of that, we create a message sheet that we send to partners and volunteers and members, and ask them, copy and paste this into your social media status, and help us spread the word.
Well, and that is just the easiest thing that you can do. If somebody gives you the tweet, that all you have to do is copy and paste, you're more than likely to have a greater success, because people are going to do what you've asked them to do.
Right.
And you're scheduling the message so it is really in line with your particular goals.
Take advantage of your newsletter list and the following that you already have, and simply asking them. Sometimes people don't think about sharing it, and if you prompt them to, they're like, oh yeah, sure, I'll copy and paste that.
And a good thing to send along with that is, here's a link to find who your legislators are. Mm-hmm. So you're sharing that information that makes it easy for everybody else to join your movement.
And then after you have scheduled out your messages, now when you're checking on your social media accounts, you have to make sure to engage with the people that are talking about it. Follow the hashtags that go along with the bill or the action, and engage with them, retweet them, favorite, respond to them. Do they have questions that you can answer? Make sure to be part of that conversation, because if their answers go unanswered, if their questions go unanswered, you've just missed an opportunity to turn somebody into doing an action.
So I have a question for everyone that's on the line. Do you understand what a hashtag is and what the @ is in Twitter? Why don't you chat me if you want us to go deeper? Hashtag yes, that's perfect.
And we'll also we'll go into the different social media channels that we recommend, and exactly what you can do for each to better reach your audiences.
Okay. All right. So, and then the last thing is monitoring and evaluating your progress. If you had a goal of the first month of this campaign that you wanted to have 150 allies that have joined you, then you want to keep track of that. And did you get 150? If you got 200, then you set your goal too low. And maybe the next month you want to double that, because as you grow members, you grow speed. And maybe you have you want to have 50 responses from legislators on tweets that you've put out there during the month. Then you want to track it and see, is it effective? Are they responding to your tweets? Do you have to phrase them a little bit differently in order to get a response? You want to make sure that you're asking them questions so that they will respond. You don't want just statements to go out there. What we're really trying to do is to get everyone to be social on social media, which is you want comments and reactions and more questions that you then can push out to your group, and then you're attacking each of these throughout the campaign.
Yes. And I recommend within that calendar and strategy making, put some time into it to actually speak with the volunteers that work with you directly on a day-to-day
Good
basis.
idea.
Because you can teach them how to use the platforms if they don't know how to use it,
Right.
and they can become advocates for what you're standing for.
Right.
And those are the people that are going to be supporting it the strongest because they're in it every day.
Right. And they're passionate. Anytime you can get people that are passionate about a cause to join your cause, you're going to have a mighty team. That passion really is an effective tool.
I think that sometimes nonprofits forget to use their volunteer base, and they just say, oh, they don't know how to use it. Train them how to use it.
Yeah.
Train them how to become advocates for you.
That's a great idea. Yet another training by Uptown Studios coming up.
Yeah, call us.
Yeah.
We can help. And how to build engagement.
Engagement is one of the things that are the analytics on the channels will tell you what your engagement numbers are. Engagement and what's the other one? Engagement and influence are the two main things that they will report numbers back. Engagement is harder to get than influence. Uptown Studios normally has 95 to 100% influence, and our engagement is from 38 to 58%. And that's because it's hard to get people to comment. So it's hard to get engagement, but we're going to go through some tips on how to build engagement.
Yes. So one great example is posting regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're writing your messages at the beginning of your campaign, schedule them out. Is it coming up close to the campaign? Do you need a message every single day? Maybe on Twitter, you're having 3 or 4 messages towards the campaign when it's coming up to the end. Before that, you're ramping up. You don't want to blow people's feeds.
Right. And you're phasing your language so that in the beginning you're really gaining support, and it's a different type of a message than it is 2 weeks before a vote, where you're really pushing out that passionate plea for action.
Right. And people respond better with those.
Yeah.
Time's running out.
Right. Time's running out. Oh my gosh, tickets are almost sold.
Everyone's procrastinators.
Yeah, everybody's procrastinators.
And then crafting messages with strong calls to action. So every message that you have, if you want somebody to take an action, you need to tell them. Sign up now. Call your legislator now.
Share with your friends.
Tweet so-and-so legislator.
Yeah, and you give them their names. I need some support with this legislator. He is on the edge. Tweet him now or her now.
Right. Yep. And then follow and engage with relevant hashtags. So is the hashtag SB32 or all trees now?
Yeah.
Find those hashtags and follow them and check them every single day.
So first you want to find relevant hashtags that are out there already and join that conversation. And if there are not enough that are specific to what your campaign is, then you want to carefully craft some new hashtags that you're really pushing out to share with all of the members of your coalition. And the importance of the hashtag is you want to check to see that it's not being used by somebody in a very different subject matter. SB30, what is it?
I believe it's SB32.
Okay, can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, let me look.
All right.
So this is a campaign that we did with Sierra Club on Twitter.
Yes,
we
SB32.
Twitter, Facebook, and there were even some postings on Instagram. And they wanted to get this bill passed, SB 350 and SB 32. And the main the main hashtags within the campaign were SB350 and SB32.
Okay, so first, before we go deeper, let's just click on one of them and you can see the conversations that are happening.
This was a few months ago,
Yeah.
back in September, but people are still talking about
Yeah,
it.
so what we just did is we're finding the conversations that are happening. And then you're going to say, well, oh, SB32, that's in Arkansas. Or you're going to say, yes, that's the one that I want to join. So you're doing a little research before you push out your hashtags so that you know that it is about the issue that is important for you.
And then every day, type in your hashtag in the search bar and go through, oh, this is what we stand for. You like it or you retweet it. And
you're knowing that the Courage campaign is joining your fight, so that you want to make sure that you're bringing them into your coalition. And then you have individuals like that D. Hodgen. Now you know that you have an individual that's a member that you want to bring into your coalition. So you're looking for groups of people and you're looking for individuals.
And you can and make sure to engage and talk to them if they're asking questions or if it's something that you particularly support. Just engage with them.
Right. You want, and this is where the social part of social media happens. That you're finding like-minded people and you're inviting them to join the fight in a different way. It's like joining different people and getting involved at a different level.
Right.
All right.
And tagging messages, photos, and updates. So I just want to show you very quickly what that looks like. So here is an image that Sierra Club created for their campaign. And on Twitter, you can actually tag up to 10 people in a photo post.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will show you how to do that. Oh, we need a photo.
We need a photo. That's fine. So we're fine.
Oh, there we are. Photo of Tina and myself.
We're going to use that. So now you know what we look like.
And so here, if it was like a campaign message or I love just even images that relate to maybe it's trees, and you can say who's in this photo. And then here is where you can add the groups or the legislators that you want to hear your message.
You want to drive your message to these people.
Right. And so you would tag them. I'm going to tag us.
And once they're tagged in this, they're going to receive a notification that they've been tagged in something, which is really important because it draws attention to this message that you've just put out there that tags them, and you're really pushing to solicit a response.
Right.
You want them to interact.
And anytime this message with the tagged parties gets retweeted or favorited, the people tagged in that photo are alerted.
Alerted again and again and again. So every time this is shared, they're re-notified, and eventually they're going to go, oh my God, this is an organized group. Here we go. Right?
And oh, you know what? I'm going to add California Relief. Oh.
I think it's
there. It is.
There it
Cal
is.
Relief.
All right.
So now we're going to put a message with a strong call to action. Our campaign in our office is called #SockDropSac, and we are trying to get socks donated for the homeless here in Sacramento. So those sock monkeys represent our campaign.
Right.
And so to get support for our hashtag, to alert the people that we've tagged in the photo, we're going to say something like retweet to support #SockDropSac. Donate socks today. And then maybe there's a link that you want to include with your message, sock drop.
All right. So now she's tagged a bunch of people in advance. She's got the hashtag for the conversation, and she has a link to where you can get more information. And it's all under 140 characters. So we've left room for people to retweet this and put their own comments in it. And
we've asked people to retweet. And so when they do retweet, Tina, myself, and California Relief are going to be notified
Again,
every time.
Every time. Sorry, California Relief. You better bring in some socks. That's all I'm saying. So there we go. We have a campaign that we've established. We've posted a tweet. We've tagged people, and we've been doing this for quite a while. There it is. There's our little support us.
And you can see the people that we've tagged in the message. So you can see the people that we're trying to communicate with. And let's see, this one in particular for Sierra Club, this one had 17 retweets and 7 likes. So all of these legislators that we tagged in the message were notified at least, 17 plus 7 times.
So, and then all the people that it goes out to, another thing that I like to do is I like to look at the people that have retweeted and to see if I need to follow them. So this is the way that I build my Twitter list and my following, and these are people that cared.
Right.
So you go through this list of people, those pictures, and so she's got 1,000 followers, and
she's a policy and communication specialist.
So you've just checked her out. You did a little stalking. You go, yeah, I want to follow her. She's got an audience, and she's got the stuff that we agree with that she's talking about. So you go through all of them, and you decide which ones are the people that you want to follow. I mean, these are all good ones. You want to, it's a good way to find new followers that you didn't know were out there.
All right.
Get those passionate people to join your cause.
And since we're on Twitter, you may be asking, well, how do I even find these legislators?
Okay, let's go there. Let's go there.
Okay. So this is Sierra Club's list, and I'd like to use them because we were very involved in this campaign, and this is a great place to start.
And it's a great list for you. It's a great partner for you.
And
they did all the work.
And they already did all the work. Sierra Club California on their Twitter page, at Sierra Club. And if you go to their list right at the top, click on their list, and then right here, they already have a list of 61 California legislators.
There you go.
And it's already created for you. So if you go into the list, and you can click on members on the left, and you can follow.
There you have it. It is as easy as that. They did all the work, and you're just doing incessant clicking. 61 times, and you got it. And then you can share their list with your followers, and what you're doing is you're supporting Sierra Club, and then they will support you back because you're like-minded. You are fighting for the same types of issues in most of the instances. So we've just given you a way to get a lot of followers and have access to them and know how to tweet to them.
Yep.
All right. Did we finish that whole thing? Can you go back?
We did.
Okay.
Be social, how to tag messages, photos, updates.
Okay.
And then the social media channel. So each social media channel provides a unique way to connect or sway to action.
And Twitter is a smaller number of more than likely politically active followers. Twitter is that fast-paced media rush that you can get information out quickly and accurately, and you can direct your messages, and it's open. It's open. You can hit everybody on the list. It's not filtered like Facebook. So if you want to get all 13,000 of Uptown Studios followers, you just post on our page and it's going to go. But because we have 13,000 followers, it goes quickly. So you have to post often.
Right.
And at different times so that it is hitting the news stream and the chance of being read are higher. So
right.
you post more often on people's feeds that have lots of followers. Facebook is where all of your people are, but it's a different format. It's more family and friends. I think 71% of all the people in the US have a Facebook page. So it's where the numbers are. So if you're going to put ads on something, I would suggest that you go with Facebook because that's where all the people are.
Mm-hmm. And you can use different paid advertising. It's very, very targeted on Facebook. For the Sierra Club, which I have a photo of later on.
Let's just do it now.
Okay.
Do it while we're talking about it.
Whoops. We went through that. Right here. So these are some ads that we created for Sierra Club. And what we did was we targeted
she was pointing at the screen. I knew you couldn't see it.
Right, you can't see my computer.
Yeah.
We targeted these ads. So here's a legislator, Assembly Member Jose Medina, and we put this ad within his districts. So we targeted his zip codes specifically, so people who were familiar with this assembly member knew who he was, and if they were interested in getting clean energy and cleaner air and clean jobs, they knew to learn more and sign the petition.
Right. So it really is driving people that are passionate about a particular issue with a particular person to act now. So it is crafting that message that it's a call to action that says do it right now.
Yes. And the importance, it's so you can target it so much so that you're no longer blasting a message to everyone. You're targeting specific zip codes of areas where people know them specifically. And so if you are ever trying to sway a legislator in your favor, this is a great way to go about it, is Facebook advertising.
That's a great
way.
And it's affordable. You can do an ad for $5 or $10 and run it for 5 days.
Yeah.
And you're going to get results, especially if you can target it to a specific zip code in an area.
Yeah.
So it's affordable and effective. On the side, if you want to learn more about placing Facebook ads, we have a white paper that we will supply to California Relief. If you would let people know that we'll get it to you, and then if you can share and they can contact you, that's awesome.
Yeah. Melissa will help us.
All right. Melissa is awesome.
Melissa is awesome. And then Instagram, using hashtags and tags on Instagram. Instagram is not quite as fast-paced as a platform. It's not as much of a action-oriented platform.
It's not as political. It's more about photos but there are more women that are in Instagram than men. So it's kind of knowing your audience and who's going to take action. If it is more women, then I'd say that you should do some Instagram. But it also posts on Facebook because it's a product of Facebook.
And Instagram's a great way to see what's happening in the moment around the hashtags that you're using. So let's go ahead. I have Instagram pulled up, and this is, again, with the Sierra Club, the SB 350. And
so here's where she searched for the hashtag, right there. So she did a search and found the SB 350 search right there.
I did a search right here. And you can, on the phone, it's similar. You click your magnifying glass and you can search for the hashtag. And so here we are, and we can see the top posts. Here's the governor. It's all real time, people at conferences or rallies and with politicians that may be supporting the bill.
Yeah.
And so this is really where you want, and cars.
Cool.
So this is where, you want to engage. So people are commenting here and they're liking it and they want to, you should be speaking back with them.
Right.
You should
comment.
Say,
add a heart. Like
a heart. You can say at GK Gilbert. And you can talk to them about what they're saying on the post.
And Smog in LA, you can go at GK. So GK Gilbert is one of the people right here. We're just tagging him with the @ sign, and we can say, "I'm right with you, GK Gilbert." Right on. There you go.
And then you're commenting and you're interacting with them.
Yeah, there you are. And so this is that interaction, that engagement that is so important. And you're going to get engagement by engaging.
Right.
So it is the social media, and you have to start engaging with people and calling out individuals, and then they're going to start talking to you.
And by always tagging your posts, I can't do it on the computer. You can only post a new post from your phone. But when you are posting either an image or something that has to do with the campaign that you're rallying around, have a thoughtful commentary, and then include those hashtags. As many hashtags as you can.
Yeah,
actually,
right.
I would do SB350, hashtag clean air, hashtag California.
Yeah.
So it's just the more hashtags you have in your Instagram posts, just best practice,
Right.
the more engagement that
And
you're going to get.
ask a question.
Ask a question.
Ask a question and get those comments to come in, and then you're gonna filter out the people that are passionate about your cause that you didn't know about, and then you start building a relationship.
Right. And then the third platform that we recommend, Facebook. So we went through the ads,
Yeah.
how to advertise, user white paper for specifically how to set up an ad for a particular zip code. But another tool that you can use are Facebook events.
Mm-hmm.
And your community can create an event. Join us for the Clean Air Initiative, or join us to plant trees in every California city. And you create the event. This one didn't have as many invites, but use your volunteers. Send out an email and a newsletter, say join our
Mm-hmm.
event. When they join the event, their friends get notified,
Mm-hmm.
and then their friends join the event.
Mm-hmm.
And have them invite people.
Mm-hmm.
Call them, say, if you're going to it, and then invite more.
Yeah. Here it is.
I am not able because it was a past event.
Oh.
But up here, there's a call to action, invite.
Yeah.
And go through your friends list and invite everyone that you know that would be interested in this and support this. You don't want to spam people.
Right. So you want to make sure that it's going to the people that you think are going to care about your issue.
Right. Because if you send too many people too many messages, they'll stop listening to you.
Yeah.
But you will be able to invite those who are going to join and tell their friends.
Right. Right.
So.
And if you have any questions while we're talking, just chat us and we will respond to your question.
Yep. So some tools, and we kind of went through these. Lists, creating a Twitter list.
Let's do it again. Let's just go back and revisit a list, because it is such an important tool to use. So we're like the California legislators is a list that is created by the Sierra Club. Can we go on to the Uptown Studios?
Sure.
Can we get on to that one? And then we can show you a bunch of lists that we have created. We rely on lists because we have over 13,000 followers, and keeping track of everybody gets to be a challenge when you have that many. So this is a list of our lists. So we have public lists and we have some private lists. And a private list would be because we did some work for a union group that wanted to privately follow the non-union group so that they could keep track of what it was that they were talking about. And you can join their list privately and they won't know that you're following them. So it's a little bit stockish, but it's important to know if you have a campaign that you're pushing to the legislators, you want to know what the opposition is doing. So you want to join them and follow them secretly, privately. It's not a bad thing. People do it. It's the way that you find out about what the competition is doing.
Yes. I always recommend a private list of your competitors.
Yes.
It's so important to see what the opposition is saying, and what their campaigns are, and maybe you get an idea or two. What are people responding to that you could tap into?
Let's see what else do we have here. So when we want to just have a tweet these are good people. These are people that we have vetted, and we know that the stuff that they're talking about is stuff that we're not, and especially this beer group, these are the people that we rely on for good information that we can post and share. So these are we call them our good people because we're working with them and we can rely on retweeting and sharing the things that they're saying on our pages.
California Relief is one of our good people.
You are. Oh my God, I'm so glad that you put them there.
And so when you have a list of curated members, instead of going directly to your feed, your home feed, where messages are going flying through a million miles a minute, you have a curated list of people who care about.
So let's just go to California Relief and let's find out what they're saying right now. So it takes me right to their page and I go, oh, I can retweet this, I can retweet that, I can like this. So I'm doing the like. I'll give them a lot of hearts because then that's my engagement, and it's going to let them know that we really care. You guys, we really do care about you. So it is a way to support the work that our favorite people are doing and show the love. You know,
we can go through and are they asking questions? Are they saying things around our campaign that we've put together? And so anyone, you could add a list of people who are tweeting about the hashtag around the campaign that you're using. And then you're seeing what they're saying in real time and being able to keep up with them.
You know, social media is just magical. If you're into a campaign and you're really working something, this is where you get to see results. I mean, real-time results.
Right.
When you get a response from a legislator, it's like magic. You feel like, oh, God, that really worked. He's on our side. Yay. And then you share that with your friends, and they all send him a thank you note.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you have a relationship that you started building. And when the next thing comes up, you have started building that relationship with that person.
Yeah. And then groups. Groups are specific to Facebook. And what you can do, I'll show you how to set up a group. From your personal page, on your left-hand side, you have all of these groups and you can create a new one. And maybe the great thing about groups is that you can have conversations with people directly that are concerned with your group topic. So maybe it's a group around a piece of legislation, you know, how can we make this better? And you have your own think tank, right, on Facebook where
and
people
it's private.
are already
Other people
going.
can't see it, only the people that are involved in the group. And you can filter the group so that it's only, like we could set up a Uptown Studios crew group. So this is only going to be inviting the people that work at Uptown Studios. So it's very private. It's you won't be able to see what we're talking about in this group, but we can have this fluid conversation that goes and goes and goes.
And you can make it public if you want other people to join. You can make it closed if it's just for your personal VIP think tank.
So this might be closed, but not secret. You know, it's okay for people to see that we have an Uptown Studios crew group that they can't join. A secret group is that you have it's just a layer of privacy that you're setting up.
Yeah. And then you create the group. We're activists.
So let's put that fist in the fist bump. There you are.
And then here you are. And here's a place you can poll questions. You can add files. So let's say you're like, you know, we need a big push. We need to see some social media posts. Here are some examples.
Here's our posts. You can share files there, and it goes only to the people on the list. And you can say, okay, everybody review these and add your own posts, and then we're going to send it out to the bigger group. It is a great way to have this instant sharing. It's just perfect.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just one extra layer of, you know, creating a community around a cause that you care about.
Yeah.
Follow, engage, and I put follow there twice.
Because that's what you want to do. Every time you follow someone, the unspoken agreement is that they will follow you back. You know, it's like, I like a you, you like a me. A lot of times they don't, but that's the unspoken uh, business rule is that if California Relief follows me, I'm going to follow them back. If they're aligned with me in any particular fashion, or maybe there are a potential client that I want to have. For political activism, it really is finding those like-minded people and getting them to follow you. You follow them first. They're going to look at your stuff and they're going to go, oh, I didn't even know about these people. I need to follow them. So it is the best way to gain new followers is to follow others.
Yeah. And then we've mentioned this several times, but just to recap, use your volunteers, your members, and your donors.
Perfect.
Send newsletters, integrate newsletters into your campaign strategy. Send them messaging to copy and paste. Ask them to join the groups and ask them to invite the people that are following them to join those groups.
And then say thank you.
And then say thank you. At the end of every campaign, whether or not the turnout was positive or negative, always thank the people that showed support because they are the ones that are making it possible to take action.
And for most groups, the social media platforms for political advocacy are young, so the numbers aren't as great as they will be for this campaign. But the next campaign, you'll be ready to go, and the one after that will be even better. So you have to think that this is not your last campaign. This is just the first campaign that you're going to use social media to push out your activism. And you want to practice on this one and know that you're going to be learning how to do all these things. And next time it's even going to be better. So don't get dismayed if you don't have a lot of followers. You really are building some new tools that you're going to be applying throughout the years because for years and years you're going to be using social media as one of your advocacy tools.
Yeah. And automatic scheduling tools. These make it possible to go in the beginning of the week and say, here are my messages for the week. And so they keep you active and present even when you don't have time to.
So for these scheduling tools, Hootsuite is free. I don't know about Buffer.
Buffer is free. There's a free version of Buffer that you can use as well.
And what it is a calendar scheduling tool. You open up Hootsuite and you say, I'm going to post this to Twitter on Tuesday at 1, on Wednesday at 5, on Thursday at 8. I'm going to post this to Facebook on Monday, to LinkedIn on Tuesday, and you really are looking at your whole week. And what you're doing, it's your time to schedule your posts and to do some research on what the good posts are. That's where knowing that you have lists set up. So if you're finding new posts to share, you go into the lists that are appropriate. You find people that are already talking about it, and you just share those posts. And so your work is within an hour, maybe 2 hours as you're starting. You're really finding everything for the whole week. We like to do our scheduling on Monday morning. You spend that hour and a half finding all of your posts. You schedule them, and then the rest of the week, it's like 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the afternoon, and you're just like, follow, comment. And in 15 minutes each day, you've really maintained your commitment to being engaged, and the rest is automatically scheduled.
Yep. Hootsuite is my personal favorite free tool.
Is it?
Buffer is a good alternative. And then if you're ever having a lot of people with their hands in the pot and you want a paid tool, Sprout Social is something that we use.
Sprout Social is what we use here, and it's because we manage a couple dozen clients on their social media, so we have to have access to all the clients in one space. It's a great tool for looking at everything that you're doing.
Those are examples. And are there any questions for, questions from the audience?
We have 10 minutes. So if there are no questions, we can babble on and on. The event that we did for, let's say, the California nurse practitioners, one of the really successful things that we did was we showed up at their conference and had a real-time workshop on advocacy, and we had maybe 60 people showed up. They brought their phones. We helped them to set up. Mostly, what we wanted them to do was to learn how to use Twitter. I think that Twitter is the best tool for advocacy, especially since so many of the legislators are now on Twitter, because you have that instant response that you can start looking for. Mm-hmm. When you follow a legislator and you post a question to them, your expectation is that they're going to respond pretty quickly and you're going to be watching for it. And if they don't, that's when you gather your friends and start pushing them, and you just push them until they respond to your question, because if they don't agree with your position, they're not going to want to respond. They do not want to say, no, I don't support that. Mm-hmm. And what you want to do is you want to push them to comment, because then you can take a position against them and you can rally the troops. So there's a question.
Is there a way to do advocacy wrong? For example, what if you're tweeting to a legislator and they're not responding? Is there a chance you could be too rude or badgery?
Well, there is always that chance. When you start your campaigns, you want to be kind and gentle. Sugar attracts more. If they're responding with a no, if they say no, I don't agree with you, it's a flashpoint that says maybe we should call their office and have a conversation. What it does is it should set off this series of things that you go into to do more advanced advocacy on different kinds of levels. You don't just have to badger. But if you have a conversation, you tell them the points, they still disagree, you can say, we're going to share this with our group. We want to show you that we have so much more support for this cause, and we want to convince you. Then you tell your group, and then you have numbers that are going against them. I don't think that you have to be mean or rude. I think that you can be businesslike. You want to represent your group in a positive way.
Right. What would your group do in person? Online social media is a representation of your brand and your community. So in person, would you be like, why aren't you answering me? Would you be rude or mean?
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't. You're a nonprofit. You care about people and you care about your cause.
Right.
And so you should reflect that on social media as well. I think that legislators do have a responsibility to communicate
right.
with those speaking with them.
If you posed a question and you knew that they were on social media 10 times and they did not respond, there's another indicator that you need to call the office and say, I'm really concerned that you're not responding to my questions on Twitter. And you know what you're going to do is you're going to shake up their office, because the office staff has been told you need to be on social media and you need to respond to these things. Mm-hmm. Because it's an immediate reflection of what their position is. So they're caring about this.
Yes. And so don't reflect your brand negatively.
Right.
You want to be true to who you are
right.
as a community, but you should also take those steps to get an answer if they aren't.
And perhaps they don't understand the depth of your position, so that you can give them more information. You can give that information on Twitter and Facebook. You can say the basis of this bill is that we want to, and then you state one of the issues, and then the next time you state another issue. So it is you can use it as an education tool and continue to grow and learn and build your base and build your opponents so that they know exactly what your position is.
Yes. And one other note is when you're inviting people and speaking with your personal connections mm-hmm. to get involved, keep in mind the spam thing. Right. You don't want to spam the people that already support you. If you're asking them to take an action, and you'll ramp up those asks as it gets closer to the date, but before then you want to be conscientious. You're not sending them the same message 2 times a day in their email inbox, because they're just going to say nope, unfollow.
Unfollow. Yeah.
So you have to be sensitive to what people are seeing and put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah. But if you have a legislator that's supporting your issue, they can't get enough thanks. They are going to love getting thanks for supporting, because it reinforces their position internally. So they're going, yeah, this is right. We need to support this one.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of comments. So that's going to make them look good. All right. Where are we? Are we at time? Well, we got 5 minutes. Do you have any other questions? Great
you.
answer. Thank you. I think that the whole idea is if you do not have Twitter and you're not actively engaged on Twitter, Twitter is the advocacy tool that we highly recommend. But Facebook is a vehicle to get to the general public. Twitter is the best tool to get to your legislators. And because it feels like it's an advocacy tool more than Facebook, also, you want to align yourself with all the media partners that you can. The media is going to be checking Facebook or Twitter because that's where their news source. They all go to Twitter for their news sources.
That's
right?
one thing we didn't mention is journalists,
Yes.
individual journalists, instead of facing the brand, right? So we have the Sacramento Bee here in Sacramento, the big newspaper. Instead, go to their journalists because those are the individuals who will be writing and creating the content for or against your advocacy.
And you want to position yourself as the leader so that when they have a question about your issue, they call you, and then you have another vehicle for stating your position in the media.
Yes, and any newspaper, the majority of them have lists of their journalists within Twitter, so you're able to find them easily and connect with them.
And the journalists that are writing about particular subject matters.
Yes.
So make friends with them, develop a relationship with them because you want them on your side because they give you yet another bigger platform. So I think that we're done here. Thank you so much. The good work that you all are doing. We are your supporters, and we hope that you have learned something. Melissa will share the Facebook ads white paper that we've developed with you, and we wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, and we hope you have a great rest of your week.
Yes.
And we look forward to working with Relief again soon.
Yeah.
If you were not able to make it, the recording will be available too. If you've missed anything, Relief will post the recording, and so you can find it later for your reference.
Again, hashtag Uptown Tips if you have any questions, and we'll be happy to help you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.